game. It's going to be the map pick of Raven. They're not going to take first ban. They will take map pick here, and will take us to Infernal Shrines for game number 1. Maybe trying to bait out Dami's Kerrigan. Feels like we're going to see the Dami showcase tonight, potentially, of all his old heroes. Would love to see that. And let's see what the draft is going to show us, because we have seen basically Raven use an old style in game number 1, an old draft. Didn't get the picks they wanted in the early game with the Sonya Malthael matchup, so. Oh well, heading into game 2 now.
HGC. Banned.
Very likely, especially on this map, much stronger than on the previous. ETC or maybe just an Ariel ban, safe moves. They get to lead the draft here because they have first ban, regardless of winning the first set, because of how Raven likes to play map choice.
Some other possible bans, of course. They can just open it with a weird ban. Okay. ETC, of course, and Ariel just will probably respond with an Ariel ban, of course. How do I know? Because this is how Korea does it all the time.
Yeah, it's almost like we've seen this before!
Like 10,000 times!
It's the meta!
Yep, now things change though. Is Miracle going to keep their Tassler first pick for flex? Or they can just bring out some crazy solo lane from the very beginning. I wonder if they will actually take Sonya for solo lane plus a very strong solo Shriner too.
That'd be pretty awesome.
First pick Sonya. Let's see.
I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be pretty cool. I think we're going to see Dami pick his hero late down in this draft to get the best one to be able to do the solo Shiny. Tassadar is going to be the pick. I feel like I've seen this before. I feel like this is really familiar. I'm not sure why. I don't know where I've seen it. I can't quite remember. I can't quite place where I've seen a draft similar to this before in recent memory. I'm a little bit, I'm like, where was it? Was it maybe game 1? I couldn't have been.
Only 26 minutes ago. There's a Regar. And Genji.
Hamlin. Hamlin.
Maybe just Karazim this time, as that's the Raven favorite. Double support, first, second rotation pick. Regar
and Genji.
Surprise, Kelsuzad.
So he just picks Kerrigan. I'm like, no. Lunara, okay, that's different.
Ooh, lots of greens.
Yeah, they need to. If they want full synergy, they need to do Reindeer Rhaegar to have the full skin synergy. It's the only acceptable skin choice.
Feels like Christmas already.
Does it? I feel
we're getting close.
I don't know. We're like in September. You have like the same mentality as the mall like
yeah, but right after
marketing
the day
people.
After the Thanksgiving, everything changes.
Yeah, or like the day before Thanksgiving. While like those poor people that work at the mall don't get to see their families because they have to put Christmas decorations up on Thanksgiving Day, so that the day after Thanksgiving, on Black Friday, they can have Christmas decorations for Black Friday sales, because marketing and stuff. You have a marketer's mind, G-Clef. It is not Christmas yet.
That's maybe because I used to work part-time at mall.
I'm pretty sure
doing that poor people stuff. I'm offended, Wolf. But there's a Val of Sonya.
I think
we talked about.
I think you've got some stocking candy canes or something, man. You need to be careful and using getting your bias in this broadcast. All right, so Sonya does come in early, and this is definitely a definitely an advanced Sonya skin, not this MySpace Sonya.
That's
so
the
now,
new technical term, right?
Yeah. Tyrael ban is obvious. It was pretty strong against them last game, and you've got a Sonya that could be powered by it volley. It gets empowered by it here. So Tyrael is off the cards now. And
Tyrael's off the card. Then this means it seems like Miracle is looking for Lucio here. Very likely. They won't have to ban it, of course. They're going for the solo lane ban here. Malthael ban.
So they get the Sonya. And this means that it's probably a 1 lane, unless we see Thrall come out or something like that. It's pretty good matchup for Sonya right now in the top lane against all other popular top laners. Like Dahaka can win, but it's like really rare and usually only if the Sonya made a lot of mistakes.
And we saw Dahaka pick after Sonya sometimes, and some teams actually had lane swaps because of that. Dahaka will have a tough time against Sonya all the time.
Well,
even when you can drag every single time, it won't be easy. So they're thinking, huh, do we have to steal Lucio from them? I think it makes sense after the Tyrael ban.
Uther. So no Lucio. And where's it going to be here? Diablo. Now we knew that this was always going to be a possibility on this map for Raven. And it would, of course, in the past for teams like GG and stuff. But very strong against the hyper carry comps in the early game before the protection comes online, so you can basically slam Vala into a wall and destroy her early. Use your Rhaegar wolf form to get that extra bite damage in and try to get those bursts in the early game. Definitely a strong pick here. Not the best win rate for Diablo. The top tier teams still really aren't using him right now.
Not as much as, but it's shrines, so there are lots of walls that you can burst. Just bump into for the stun and toss it over so that Lunara can do all the damage on the side. But they have poison. They can do lots of damage, but can they pick up kills? That's every single time when you have Lunara on your team, you need something like Greymane. It seems like it will be open for them to pick up.
You think they're going to pick Greymane here as their final pick?
I think they need something else, though, not just a solid double tank.
Well, they need a solo laner. They saved their solo laner last time for the Sonya pick, but again, Rhaegar can do solo laning, but I don't think that that's what Raven wants to do with this composition.
Just a Dahaka
for
the global.
Thrall is available. And then who else are we really thinking of here? Not a whole lot of meta solo laners available anymore. Like, Zagara, I suppose.
We saw yesterday.
If you want to win the matchup against Sonya, you're thinking Thrall, you're thinking Zagara, you're not thinking about the Dahaka. If you want the global impact, then you're thinking about the Dahaka. Dahaka very strong on this map.
Or
works well with
Diablo.
Oh yeah, Leoric as well.
You almost forgot, but there's still a very good chance. Artanis!
Well, that's a weird one, but okay.
Did not thought of that one.
It's an old Raven favorite, but it's not going to be H82 today on the Artanis. So there's definitely a lot of things you can do with the Artanis and the Diablo together in team fights. There's a lot of ways you can ruin what Vala is trying to do with the blinds from Artanis, which I think is one of the reasons why he is picked here, because blinds will work very well against Sonya, very well against the Vala auto attack build that it was likely to be seen from Miracle. Maybe not seeing it anymore. We'll find out, guys, as we go into game number 2. It's Raven versus MVP Miracle on Infernal Shrines. Raven, Darvish on Rhaegar, Hamlin on Artanis, NMX on Lunara, Diong on Diablo, and Chom on Uther.
And on the other side, Judy on Sonya, Dami on Vala, Jaehyun on Lucio, C moving on Tastar, and the last one on Muradin.
Sniper.
Here there's a swap. On to Sniper, as we talked about.
Okay, he is the easiest target hit because he's supposed to be in the front, and obviously as a result will get away.
Seems like Sniper is on the tank for today because of Tastar being picked all the time.
Which is odd to me because I feel like
that's
Sniper,
a master taunt.
If I could speak totally frankly, I think Sniper is actually a better Tastar than Crazy Moving is, but perhaps they're just trying to create more flexibility. Maybe this is just some practice for them going into playoffs. in the match against Blossom, but Emerden hasn't escaped. That's why he's the front line. That's why he's a tank, and that's why he gets away there. But still, you can see that Raven does have synergy for this pick all lined up, and is definitely going to be looking for those picks in team fights. It's a bit of an odd one. Okay, trying to get the counter rotation over here, getting the pick there with the Diablo, but it's not going to happen. Sniper's positioning too good. It's odd too when your opponent, or sorry, when your solo laning opponent is losing lane, like Sonya was at that moment. The wave was pushed to try to go for a gank because Sonya's always going to be safe in that moment. So, a weird move there by Raven.
They were just trying to maybe land on a swap and then try to land on the CC to get a kill onto Sonya, so that Artanis can have an easier time on the solo lane. Of course, it did not work. Miracle knew the rotation up.
Sonya actually coming down briefly, having Jaehyun in the top lane. So just a little bit of lane swapping here for Miracle. Going to send everybody back down now eventually. There's always using that Muradin potential gank for when the lane is being won by Artanis, like we were talking about last game. Not going to actually commit to it, and we'll rotate down now. Everybody's coming to this party. It's going to be a 10-man fight. Dami will need to eventually get the heals through here. He's just auto-attacking these minions to get that lifesteal back. Hey, DeYoung, very hyper-aggressive positioning here.
As he always does when he plays Diablo, especially. Will eat up a lot of heal from the back line. Also has to tap onto the fountain. And then after clearing the wave in the middle, Artanis will also join, looking for a big swap.
Oh, Jaehyun is going to get taken out here. That's going to be first blood over to Raven, using the Diablo pick with the Artanis very well. And now MVP Miracle feels desperate, like they need to finish this. Going to be very difficult because, again, DeYoung in the right position. It's going to be heals for the Whirlwind here, but Psystorm not actually connecting with these defenders. I think Raven might be able to steal this away.
Yeah, Miracle needs 8 more, but
I don't think they can get them. They're trying. This is so risky what they're doing.
The window open, they caught up the numbers. 6 away, 7 away for Miracle. There's CC coming in for DeYoung, but Hamlin's very low. Seems like he will be going down.
They're not going to get it. They're not going to get it.
Raven got the Punisher, but
this is the same sort of situation we saw last game, basically, where Raven gets the objective. In this case, it is the Punisher, but last game it was the Immortal. And Miracle does, get a kill, but the objective is always going to be more valuable than a kill, or even 2 kills at this stage. So Raven can be very happy with what they've been able to accomplish so far with this Diablo pick.
Seems like they're positioning for now, and that Shrine fight was actually not too perfect, but a lot better than game number 1 for Raven. Their double support was healing in the front line, the back line, of course. Lunara flanking from the side. Diablo, except for the very first attempt, he was staying along with Artanis and doing tons of damage, providing right CCs. Oh, look at that, even Sniper's having a
Oh, that
there.
swap is in the forced dimensional shift.
Right after there will be CC, but okay.
Really well played here from Hamlin. Very impressed. I guess we just have to always consider Raven the Artanis team here. We were talking about this a lot earlier, how Rhaegar will solo lane when Artanis needs to go do camps, and that's why the pairing here is actually really nice for Raven. When you have a melee that camps quickly, to have the Rhaegar there.
But it is not amateur opponent, so camp timing will need to be quicker, so Rhaegar also joins for the camp, as Rhaegar can be a big help.
They didn't lose any experience as a result. They're dead even right now with Miracle. They're going to get the camp cleared faster. It looks like we are going to see Sniper invade, but unfortunately he doesn't have any teammates with him. That was a Noblesse invade. Unsuccessful, and we do see the Q build from Vala, I think because she was aware of the blind potential coming out from Artanis. I think that's one of the reasons why he was chosen as solo laner, so he's going Q instead. And it's going to be very strong against, obviously, the dive of the Artanis, the dive of the Diablos in these fights. So I'm actually kind of a fan of it, to be honest. I think this is the right build for the situation.
They're going for Sniper once more, focusing the tank, really making the tank go outside, and Dami is very low, got so much damage from the camp.
MX really wanted that. It's not going to happen. Does take a lot of damage. Darvish is split pushing meanwhile. Take out, dealing with that split push over there with the cap. Defending, so he's not with the fight, not there for the heals.
Ooh, Lunara dies.
No cleanse, just staying in the solo lane, actually. Now, I was saying he was split pushing. I'm misspeaking there. He's defending the push, but looks like he wants to do some split pushing. In fact, he's just staying up there.
Sonya takes healing instead. A poison spear at 7. Maybe Judy wants to have some more sustain by herself. Because
So
of course Lucio does not have any burst healing. I think it makes sense against all the damage that can be put out from Raven.
This is one of the cool things about having Sonya as your solo laner on this map, is she's one of the greatest solo Shriners in the game, so everyone is getting experience while the objective is won. And even though Raven got ahead slightly because of the split push coming over from Rhaegar in the top lane, now it's all caught up for Miracle. They're going to have this Punisher. They will get 10 with it. Probably just a little bit faster than Raven. It's an Arcane Punisher too, so very lucky for them to actually get this early. Alright, coming in, stunning De Jong. He's in the front doing his job. So bursting the sound very quickly.
So, ooh, stuns onto Sniper. Lots of tools used, and Miracle hit 10. Are they going to go in? They do go in.
Okay.
Not fully committing though.
Yeah, well, actually getting slowed by this fort. Sniper is the target. Does have his avatar now.
Also has a sound barrier available. Just looking for the perfect timing to come. Sonya joining the fight from the top.
Okay, this is a huge opportunity to get the kill into Hamlin. He misses the spear though, but still, Force Wall will help secure the kill. And they might actually be able to grab this fort as well. The Impaler really wants it. He's the last man standing on this mini wave. Will get taken out here, but yeah, that should be the fort. No ammo left on the top sentry tower. And that's going to be a whole level lead that is gained from this Arcane Punisher.
Seems like focusing the front lines, focusing the tank is what they're doing on the both sides. Raven is focusing Sniper, the Muradin oftentimes. Miracle also focusing De Jong and Artanis. I think they're just having a par fight here.
I think focusing the tank is what you want to do in this situation, especially as Raven, because if you can force out the avatar early, force out the sound barrier early, then you can win the sustain war. But if you can't do that, you always lose, and you have to kill Muradin to make it happen.
And of course it is Choma Luther. Divine Storm locked in. They want to have the pair up along with APOC.
Okay, Judy here does have a lot of sustain. That's what we're talking about. Focusing the solo laner here is not going to be the answer, I don't think, as he is just going to be able to sustain himself up with Whirlwind so hard. And they need to get out of here now. Sniper doesn't even need to use that avatar. There's another good force wall here. APOC is used. They're going to try to re-engage, but avatar was popped already, and this is going to be a slaughter. Cleanse will save NMX for now. Chom will shoot that Radiance over the wall, but a bad fight in all regards for Raven. Now Miracle has the advantage, and they will be able to take positional advantage now on the Shrine.
They had to back off, but timing is all right for Raven to come back into the Shrine because Artanis had to take care of all the camp in the bottom. He was just staying there this entire time. Not losing too many members for Raven, of course, did help. Nara's not here.
Divine Storm,
but there's no damage following up. Now he joins, but is that in time? Let's see. Shields coming down from Crazy Moving. So much damage onto Muradin, and so Sonya blows up.
Yeah, they had enough damage there to win the longer fight because the Divine Storm was there. Thornwood Vine is going to be so powerful, and just Lunara's kit in general, but Thornwood Vine is so powerful in that little choke point. And I was worried for Raven going for that invade there because they didn't have a lot of the tools that were going to be strong to actually engage, but because they did have the Divine Storm, they were able to take that fight. And all the advantages we just talked about that Miracle had are now gone. And there's just no realistic way for them to contest this Shrine now. In fact, they're simply not going to.
Yeah, losing that invade right before the Shrine was a critical timing. Even if their talent up, there's down in numbers, they could not really fight this one out.
Task went top, so they're going to get that wave that he almost missed, the fort wall. And he is going to soak up there right now. And down here, this Immortal not really doing all too much, to be honest. They're focusing their attention on bot. They assumed that this was going to get the fort, it looks like, because it was so low, but they actually incorrectly assumed so. They do get most of the fort and the wall here, but I think they could have done better. The cool thing about it, though, is they left Artanis top for a long time, so they're catching up in experience. They're no longer a talent tier down. On the same talent tier. Going to do a heavy invade here, using De Jong to toss in onto Sniper.
Force Wall actually acts in favor of Raven there as NMX is getting focused. Does get Ancestral healed. Strafe is coming in, but there's a storm to stop everything from happening.
Sound barrier is really well timed, though. Hamlin is caught here. They're losing the sustain war. Nice APOC, though, and Hamlin is still alive. Finally goes down. Crazy Moving will survive, and it looks like this fight is a 1-1 for Miracle. Dion gets caught here by another Stormbolt. That was not the ideal Force Wall Crazy Moving was looking for, but with a double, now we're going to take the neutral camp. That was a really cool strafe, even though it was interrupted eventually, because he used it right after the blind. And so he was like, okay, I can't do damage to my autos. I already used Hungering Arrow. I'll just use strafe here to maximize my damage over time.
Chum getting caught and barely survives after the Force Wall is gone over the wall. That fight was actually pretty decent for Raven. They focused well. Crazy Moving almost died, barely shifted away. The CCs were there, the focus damaging was there, but some of the tools were just lacking. I feel like the team fight, of course, their positioning was great. I think that Raven's actually having a pretty decent game right now. They just need one more step. It feels like they're missing the 5%. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either, but I think realistically, Dion can't get picked like this.
Dion,
yeah, this is a dead Diablo.
Melts down.
Down he goes.
We'll finish him.
Yep. I think positionally, Raven is always getting their front line demolished first. It's always Dion, because sure, Hamlin can kind of take care of himself. He can sustain with his shields, but Diablo has no escapes, does not have any way of self-sustain except Rhaegar, so whenever things like this happen, he dies. But it's not just these picks like this with Force Walls, but in the beginning of the fights, he has to use APOC early, and some of them have been good, some of them have been less than good, but it feels like he kind of has to use everything in the middle of the fight whenever the flank comes in, and then Force Wall comes down, and Dion is always in trouble. I think that could be one way to improve, and Sniper's had such a good game on the Muradin. His Stormbolt accuracy has been fantastic. He's doing the standard Muradin build with cooldown reduction at 7, and he's just basically positioned correctly all the time, and is never really avataring even in these fights because he doesn't need to. He only avatars when he decides to attack. It's really well played by a player, again, who normally would be the task star in this situation, but Miracle is kind of switching their roles again. Finally, this goes down. That's going to be 16, a little bit closer for Raven, but this is going to be very annoying to deal with, this Punisher, which will go now directly to this keep. It's a frozen Punisher.
It will jump in along with Sonya on the same line. Sniper also jumps in.
Dion taking a ton of damage. The Ancestral goes off, though. So much damage coming out from Lalara. Good blind here. Sniper's actually caught in a bad spot. Will have to Avatar. Does Dwarf Toss away.
Chum uses the stun onto Jaehyun alone. There's a straight now doing pressures on the damage. And Dion uses the APOC right before, but no connection on it.
Got caught again. And the Punisher actually was one of the MVPs of this fight. Also
solo, he goes down.
Great stuns in the fight, just out of the Punisher as well. Really helped Miracle capitalize on those moments. And now they're looking to core from here. They have the Impalers here. There's another Force Wall. Hamlin caught here, does get shields up for just a moment, but look at all the damage output. Sound Barrier timed really well here to be able to basically sustain through all that damage. That's the full team wipe. 12 kills to 2. We're going to a 2-0 lead here, G-Clef, in this series.
That's right, and Miracle just focusing is on top. It's Raven. Seems like Dion is still going way too aggressive with Diablo. Sometimes he makes a pretty good CC, but it's not really super coordinated with the supports. It has to be coordinated with the support. You have to say your call, I'm going in, can you heal me? Or am I in your range? Or without the communication, you have to know with a lot of practice, but seems like with the supports on the back line, Dion's not having the best communication right now whenever he's on Diablo.
There was never a time to pair the Divine Storm with the Apox like they wanted to either. That was definitely part of the plan there with the Divine Storm. We had the one good Divine Storm where they won that one fight, got that pick, but beyond that, it was just really Dion trying to be like, Diablo's a tank that is so good at getting picks in the early game, but he's not very good at peeling. He's not really good at trying to help you retreat. He doesn't have any escape. So when Dion was trying to get a pick when we got to the mid game where that wasn't really reasonable, every time he was like, maybe I'll do a charge here, Force Wall comes down, half his health bar is gone, and we know what happens next. So
Yep, and I think if you die that many times, you need to gather those souls, but we'll have 5 more minutes of break time for you guys to gather more souls. Bring all the souls, all the viewers, and we'll see you in 5 minutes.